Hi everyone, I'm Clark Beckham, the runner-up of season 14 of American Idol. We've got the last episode of auditions. Let's do it. This is a pretty good episode. A lot of singers, I think almost double the typical amount. First, we got Madison Watkins. She sings an original. There are so many originals. I don't know this, but I thought that they discouraged originals, but you hear them constantly. It seems the ones that you hear are typically about their story or about their dad or their mom or their sister, something like that. So it seems that they discourage original songs unless it's part of your story and going to endear America to the contestant. Just an interesting observation I made. So we got Madison Watkins. She sings an original about her dad. This is the first time that someone sings an original about their dad or about a family member who's there, that the judges don't bring them in, which is interesting. I guess they've had enough of those and they thought another would be too much. She's just a big ball of sunshine. She's delightful. She's got a beautiful smile. She's good. She's fine. She's a great singer. There's a lot of contestants in this show. They're good. I'm not dying, but there's nothing wrong with them. I don't really have any critique. It said here that she's got a pretty vibrato. And also I'm not giving her enough credit here. She is a complete performer as far as the dynamics in her singing. She knows how to go soft and then into a big belt right out of her falsetto while she's playing piano and accompany herself doing that dynamically as well, which is impressive and not common for a performer to be able to do. And she can do it really well. And I guarantee she was a cheerleader. Guarantee. Because when she got through and was celebrating, her feet were together and she looked like she was a cheerleader. She was jumping. Next, we have Ava August and Liv Grace. Both Katy Perry superfans. Personally, Ava August, 15 years old. That's impressive, but I wasn't a fan of this audition. Liv Grace, I was a big fan of her audition.
This was never the way I planned, not my intention.
I'm in.
And I got so brave, drink in hand, lost my attention. I kissed a girl and I liked it, the taste of her cherry chapstick. It felt so wrong, it felt so right. Don't mean I'm in love tonight. Woo! And I kissed a girl and I liked it.
Wow. It's cool what she was doing with the guitar. She was playing the bass note in the chord just one at a time and palm muted. I'll show you. She's taking her palm, putting it right here, and kind of muting that string. And so it gives it a little bit of a muffled sound like this. Instead of, you know what I mean? So she's kind of like, which is pretty cool. It's a little dynamic. That means she's been playing guitar for a while. She's got a good voice. What's interesting is in the beginning, I was like, cool, she can sing well. Nothing's wrong here. And then she rips this run out of her belting voice. It makes me lose my mind because I didn't think she could run at all. And then she rips one and it's really clean, really strong, really tasteful. I like Liv Grace, and she goes by Liv Grace, but then it says Liv Grace Blue on everything, so I guess she wrote down that she wants to go by Liv Grace Blue, but she introduced herself as just Liv Grace. I'm gonna call her Liv Grace Blue, because the world needs more syllables. Next we have Deshaun Goncalves. Interesting guy, comes in with dress pants, a dress shirt with a black vest, looking slick. This is a very impressive individual. His parents had him at 13, and it sounds like his dad was about 15 years old. Deshaun was not doing well in school. His dad kind of talked to him, and then he ended up graduating the very top of his class and getting a full ride to a really, really good college. Really impressive individual. This is an example of someone with an amazing story who has an amazing talent. Later in the show, we see a lot of people with an amazing story with good talent. Not quite crazy special, but this guy has crazy special talent, something really unique.
And nothing remains the same. No one remains unchanged. There are so
What the heck?
except that rain comes from the clouds.
Oh,
The sunlight from the sky. Yeah.
oh, oh.
And hummingbirds do fly.
This is a real proud moment for your family, man.
Sheesh.
I love that.
His falsetto control is really strong. When he first started, it seemed to me that he was going to be piano player, super sweet tones, smooth singer with no real high range or belting, which is fine. And then all of a sudden he decides to belt some gorgeous notes. Surprised me a lot. So now I'm thinking, oh, she's got a whole package here. Soft, falsetto, smooth chest voice, piano playing, and belting. If you've got the right taste, you can pretty much do anything if you've got those tools. Super unique. Just super unique. Someone who's really talented and sings in a way that I haven't heard all season, which is the X factor. Like that's what you want when you audition. Lionel said, "I needed you today." Lionel, that was emotional for me. Nice of him to say. I love this audition. Skipping around a bit, we've got Cameron Allen next. Whoa! How is he not a big topic? How are we not talking about this guy?
Know that I've seen it
Hey.
all before.
Hey, sing!
Know that I've seen it all before.
Come on. They just give him a little spot. Whoa. He has just like a 25-second little blip, and then it's on to the next person. They almost show him in like a montage, but his song, he does this really cool run. It's a big belting note. He changes the vowel while he runs to give a really cool effect. Oof. Before. That is powerful and effective. In this little bit, he might be the best singer of this episode, and they just show him for a second. He's a baseball player. I don't know if he was like a starter, had a chance at a big career, if he was the bench. I don't know what he was doing, but he's on the baseball team, played in college, and now he's quitting everything to do the singing thing. He's a talented dude. Tristan Grubbs. His story was that he grew up in a football family. He didn't like to play football. He'd rather sing. I grew up in a football family as well. I happen to just like both. So I did play football and I like to sing. He talks about bullying here. It's a real thing. If you're a guy and you sing when you're in school, especially when you're young, like elementary school, middle school, I can speak for the South anyway, singing is thought of as feminine. It's not manly to sing, especially if you're young. That's what the girls do. I went to a private school, and when we sang in chapel, the girls would sing and the guys would mumble. That was just what you did. I was like, I'm gonna sing. So I would sing, and I had people come up to me and say, like in front of everybody, I was a new kid, "Did you guys hear Clark singing? He sounds like a girl." I just laugh, and the whole thing, like making fun of the bullying, whatever you want to call it. I experienced it myself. When people would tell me, "You sing like a girl," "Are you a girl or something?"
What are you, a girl or something?
It truly had no effect on me at all, because my dad was a great singer, and my dad is a manly man, and he's a singer, like sings his tail off. So growing up, I understand what Tristan is saying here, and it's a legitimate thing. If you sing, you're made fun of as a boy. When you're just the only guy who thinks singing is cool, you just kind of gotta believe in yourself, and sometimes it's only gonna be you that believes in you. Wow, that sounds shockingly similar to a song that I wrote, actually. It's called Who Believes in Me. It's from my debut album, Lightyear, which is out wherever you listen to music, and it sounds like this.
It's just me who believes in me.
The only problem I have with Tristan here is he's falling into the trap of imitating the original artist of the song that he's singing. He's singing a Lewis Capaldi song, and Lewis Capaldi is really big on closed vowels. I don't know why I talk about vowels so much. Maybe it's just something new that I've really picked up on noticing. Lewis Capaldi sings it very closed.
When you hurt under the surface.
When you hurt under the surface.
there's a line between being inspired by and influenced by singers and then copying the exact singer who's doing it. And he needs to find that line and make sure it's still him without just doing a carbon copy. Something I noticed here, this episode had a lot of Judge gimmicks. Some were hidden and sneaky and some were obvious. One thing that I'm getting a little bit annoyed with is when he started singing, he seemed fully confident, and then Luke stops him in the middle and goes, we need more confidence. And they make this weird speech like, you got to have confidence in the music business. You're good enough. You better have confidence, buddy. And it kind of plays into the narrative that Tristan has already said about bullying and a lack of self-confidence. I don't think he showed any lack of self-confidence. And they're like, no, you gotta have self-confidence. And then he sings again, and then he sounds just as good as before. And now they're like, that's right, there it is. So they can have this little moment of, wow, the judges really had the discernment to understand that he had a lack of self-confidence. They stopped him in the middle of the song, gave him a pep talk, he started again, and now he's rising above all the bullying from his past, and he's confident, and he's singing, and wow, look at this moment. I'm not buying it. Maybe all those things happened. Maybe that emboldened him and made him feel more confident to focus on. And if that happened, that's great. But the idea that the judges are just seeing this and like, hold on, stop. You need more confidence in yourself. I think it's a little put on. Also, the standing is so awkward. How the judges will just randomly stand. It's weird. Katie stood first, and it actually didn't bother me because she was just kind of like, okay. And then all of a sudden they all just start to, what are you doing? Why are you standing? Sometimes they'll like snap and sweat. It's just weird. Andrea Vallis, girl with the pink hair. She sings Landslide. Katie, I think, puts it right on the nose here. She starts to sing. When we see her singing, I'm thinking, okay. And then she hits these little moments of diamonds, like just really, really cool sounding stuff. And I'm thinking, well, hold on. Are you average or are you wonderful? And Katie calls that out. And then she interrupts Katie and starts singing a second song, which I've never seen work. Every time the judges are like, okay, that's enough, stop. Katie lets it go. She's okay, go for it. She sounds good and she shows a little bit of bite. I think she just got fed up with hearing, we need more from you, we need more from you. She's like, all right, I'll give you more. This isn't an issue for me, and I've got to let you know before you start voting that this is not an issue for me to give you more. I can give you more. Next, we've got Kiko. This was another gimmick moment for me. Kiko starts singing. He's got a lot of pitch issues. Half of the notes that he sang, maybe more than half, were off the mark. They were flat or sharp. He's a good guitar player. Then they ask him, can I hear something else? He goes, let me get my guitar player. And then they bring in Francisco, and everybody freaks out. Now, I think what's very likely is the producers are saying, all right, this is his brother. We've got to capitalize on this moment, which there's nothing wrong with that. And they told the judges, maybe just had in their notes, we really like both songs. Make sure you ask him to sing another song too. But then his brother comes out, Francisco, who's signed by 19 Entertainment, the company that signs you and brings you on and is working with American Idol through the show and then the contestants after the show. And then he's so conveniently there to promote his single, which I'll absolutely be listening to. And then he's there and they start singing together, and then Francisco start ripping off on these solos. And I'm thinking, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Francisco he can't be on the show again. We already know he's wonderful. I get you're maybe trying to promote his single and bring him into the limelight again, get people excited, but it was just pure gimmick to me. Honestly, it was probably bad for Kiko because when Kiko was singing next to Francisco, it just highlighted the fact even more that he's not quite up to snuff. Thought they were going to let him in. It goes to Luke, and thank you, Luke, for being strong. He says no. A hard situation to be in, a hard place to be in. When you know if you say yes, he's going through. He's got one no and one yes. You stay strong and say no. Strong of Luke. Next, you've got Zachary D'Onofrio. He sings Golden Slumbers, which is one of my favorite Beatles songs. Side note, there are only two types of people. People who love the Beatles and people who haven't listened to the Beatles. He starts singing, and I'm just writing down in my notes, cool. He's good. Honestly, I think he's got potential to have a music career. I don't think he has potential to do well on American Idol. If he does, it would be more because of his personality than his singing ability. But that being said, he does have something special, and he could have a career like this, but not in American Idol, I don't think. Right after they do the Francisco gimmick, now they do the Katie Turner gimmick. Can you do another song? Oh, sure. Could I bring my girlfriend in? And they're like, what? You have a girlfriend? That's crazy. Which was a little disrespectful. Like, that was a little shady and kind of tough. Like, what, you have a girlfriend? That's, oh my gosh, the plot thickens. It's like, that was a little rude. He brings his girlfriend in. It's a former contestant. The judges are like, what? You're back. And she's adorable and she's singing. And then she starts singing solo stuff too, and they sing together. And it's like, you hearing him sing harmony with his girlfriend, is that really changing your mind on what he could be as a performer and as a contestant? It's a cool moment. She sounds good, but is this what we're doing? And it gets to the point. Are we trying to make good television, or are we trying to find good singers in an audition? Or are we trying to do both? American Idol's trying to do both. So they're going to find the good singers, but they also want to make good television because, first and foremost, that is their job. That is often said with malice. It's often said with, they're just trying to get ratings. Well, duh. That's their job. The more ratings they get, the more money they make, the better judges they can get, the better talent they can bring in. That's the business. That's what they're doing. But they're also trying to find the best singers, and they're doing that, and their track record is obvious as far as finding star talent. Compared to any other show, American Idol dwarfs. American Idol is a Mount Everest. Every other show is an anthill as far as success after the show in the music industry. So they're doing it, but they're doing both, and maybe I should give them a little bit more grace to have these TV moments. But when they pass it off as organic and like it just naturally happened, as someone who's on the show and someone who just thinks a lot, I kind of roll my eyes. Next, we have Brianna Colicchio. This is an incredible story. She has cystic fibrosis. The life expectancy for someone with her condition is 36. She actually collapsed the day before she was supposed to audition before the judges, and they were able to reschedule it. Really touching story. And then she starts to sing, and she's good. She's good. She's got a great middle range and really cool tone and control there. As soon as she gets up into higher notes, she starts to struggle, starts to fall flat, doesn't really have a lot there, but she's cool. She's got something really special in the middle of her range. This is an example of an amazing story with good talent. I don't think she's gonna go the distance in this show personally. And I start thinking, when they give her all yeses, vocally speaking, would have been really, really, really close, but I would have probably said no. But in that moment, hearing her story, seeing her cry, being in the room as a judge, having the power, I ask myself, would I have been able to say no? I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know if I'd be strong enough. We give the judges a hard time and like, well, I don't think they were good enough. It's just the story. But if I was in the room, I don't think I'd be able to say no. Being so on the fence and so close. I'm human, right? They're human. They're going to hear her and see her and feel her emotions and empathize with her. Could you have said no? That being said, I'm fine with her going through. I think she's got talent. I'm a little on the fence with her strictly talent-wise. Next, we got the judges. They start singing little "You Got a Friend" action, and Katy Perry sounds amazing. She's doing these little falsetto things, and it's sweet. Ew. Ew. Hey, Katie! We all know how good Lionel is, and Luke sounds really good too. This is odd, but I actually prefer Luke singing when he's not singing his own songs. When he's messing around on the show singing another song, it sounds really great to me. He sang on an awards show and sang like an R&B tribute. I'm thinking, what's this country guy gonna do? And then he starts singing, and he sounded awesome. These are all really, really good singers, these judges. We've got the boy band duo next. Got Danny Falco comes in and sings. He's fine. Then he's got this Axl Rose type of voice when he gets into the high notes that he's jumping into. Just not quite good enough. He gets no's. Next is Colin Jameson. Reminds me a lot of Constantine Maroulis. Got the long hair, got the smile, got the charm, got the wink in the camera, got the cheese. Constantine's a friend of mine. He's a cheesy person on stage, but he rocks it. And Colin is kind of that guy for me. The verses are just swimming in breath, just breathy singing. And that's kind of the cheesy boy band style. Then he gets to the chorus and starts to belt, and he sounds good, like really good. His pitch is perfect.
Our love is 6 feet under. I can't help but wonder if our grave was watered by the rain. Would a roses bloom again?
His piano playing is great, dynamics are good, and then he goes into falsetto, and his falsetto is murdering. He's got a lot of tools here, a lot of talent. The more I listen to his audition, the more I like him. He's actually really, really, really good. And I think he's gonna show that and grow in Hollywood Week, and he's gonna continue to keep coming with some powerful performances. He could go really far. He finishes, Luke asks him, "How do you think you did?" In which he says, "My falsetto is a little shaky, I can usually do better than that." My opinion, when someone asks you how you think you did, Don't give them ammunition to go against you, because maybe they weren't even thinking of that. I wasn't. I thought his falsetto was great. So you could say, well, if I trash my falsetto after I did great, then that's like, oh, wow, you can do even better than that? That's crazy. But for me, you say something like, felt pretty good, nervous, but I felt good. I'm happy to be here. Say something like that, kind of a non-answer. But to be specific and say, my falsetto wasn't good, I don't think that's the move. He took the critique of the breathiness really, really, really well. When Katie imitated him doing breathiness and said, instead of this, sing like this, he said, okay, thank you. The best thing you can do when someone gives you a critique is to say thank you. Instead of, okay, all right, well, perfect answer. I'm so into that. Great answer, great attitude. That's exactly how you take critique. I'm a fan. The breathiness and the cheese on top, especially the last, again, was really heavy, but they gave him the critique. I think he's gonna fix that. We'll see. Next we have Valley, another amazing story. She's in a homeless shelter with her son, just an adorable little boy. She sings a Whitney Houston song, and I'm thinking this could either be amazing or bad. She starts to sing and she's really feeling it. I mean, she, maybe more than anybody on the episode, is all the way into the song. One of the judges said they can see her fighting in the song, and I see that too. Vocally, I don't think she's even close, unfortunately. I was rooting for her, but vocally, personally, I don't think she's anywhere close to where she needs to be vocally to make it to Hollywood. They give her yeses, she goes through. We'll see what happens. Next, we've got Wyatt Pike. I love Wyatt. Wyatt, for me, is a breath of fresh air. It says a lot when you come into American Idol and you just play you. You just do you authentically and really well. It's got to be so tempting to do high notes, to try to do runs, to try to do little special things to impress, but he just plays his guitar and he plays really well, sings his song, does his thing, knows exactly who he is, knows exactly what sound he makes, and does great. I mean, he's charming, good looking, has a great song. He's ready to be an artist right now as well. Next, we have Jackson Snelling, a heartbreaking story. They're hitting us over and over again with these stories. He actually suffers from autism. His dad died in his sleep next to him when he was 7 years old in bed. Went through a lot of trauma. I just can't imagine the life that he's lived and the strength that he must have to be so positive and to do things like audition for American Idol and be there for his mom and his brother. He sings, and I just don't think he's good enough. It's just short and simple here. And I actually have an issue here with Lionel when he says you're being shy and you can't be shy. Now, I wasn't in the room. Maybe he was coming across shy right there, and that's what Lionel really said. But I think it was because his voice just isn't good enough right now. And instead of saying that, they say you're too shy, which is going to make him feel way worse, because then he thinks, man, if I just would have come in there confident and going for it, if I could just sing one more time, not shy, my nerves got the best of me, I'd be going through and I'd be good enough. When the reality is, he just doesn't have what it takes right now vocally. And our last audition is Althea Grace. She sings an original called Saturday Morning. Woo! This was a tough story, highly emotional. I cried. I just can't imagine what that would be like to have your child have liver failure and the doctors say, I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think she's gonna make it. And then hug your child goodbye like she talked about. Oh my gosh, I cannot imagine. She starts to sing an original about her story, again, that you see in originals come out almost exclusively when they're about their story, which is just an interesting observation. She starts singing, she sounds great, she's good. In my notes I have cool voice, cool song, she's got something, not going crazy. She's good. I don't think she's gonna go super deep into the competition. I think she's got a great story that they wanted to highlight. She's got a good enough voice to go through to Hollywood. She's got something special there. But is she gonna be the winner of American Idol? I don't think anybody thinks that. Now, she may go to Hollywood and just blow everybody away. You know, there's a pattern. Maybe this is me. Every single time, the last audition, I'm not going crazy about, even though there's nothing wrong with it. I did it last week. I think I did it the week before that. I did. I think every episode, the last audition, I'm just like, eh. So maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just ready for the show to be done and go to bed. I don't know. I go to bed early. I've got an early bedtime. That's it for all the auditions. We've seen a lot of singers. To me, the singers that I've already seen enough, I already know they could do great in top 10 and be serious contenders, are Annalie, Heather Russell, Layla Mock, Amanda Mina, Casey Bishop, Willie Spence, and then I have Benson Boone / Michael Giroux. It might be one or the other because they're kind of the same person. They're both young, good-looking guys that play piano and have a really good voice. So we'll see if they both make it or just one of them. We'll see if one stands out in Hollywood Week. I've seen enough from those 8 contestants already they're ready to go. Others that are favorites of mine, I need to see a little bit more. And then there are some singers that I'm not crazy about, but I know I haven't seen enough to make a judgment that they for sure can. But these people I've seen already enough where I fully guarantee they've got the ability and the talent to be serious contenders and to be great Final 10 contestants. Doing a lot of YouTube research, one thing that's gonna help me a bunch is very simple, but if you could like this video and subscribe to my channel, that's gonna help me a bunch. Another way you can help me, also get some bonus content. Immediately after the show, I go through all of my notes and my immediate reactions and thoughts, unedited and a little bit tougher. I'm not quite as kind in my immediate reaction, just flying through these things. And I post those as members only videos. And if you want to be a member, you can hit the join button next to this video or on my channel, and you can become a Groove Crew member for $5 a month. You get access to those videos. You get to use this stank face emoji when I'm doing live chats and the premiere. And make sure you watch this video in the premiere. It's really fun. I do it every Monday at 7 p.m. Central Time. I'm there, we're talking, we're chatting, and if you feel so inclined, you can help me and donate to the cause with a super chat option. I don't make any money on these videos. I'm using American Idol footage, so it's not original content technically, so I can't monetize these videos, so anything you can do to help would be sweet. Next week, we've got Hollywood Week beginning. It's gonna be fun, just like it seems every year there's an ambulance at some point in Hollywood Week, and that is the case for this next one. You guys be good. I'll see you next week.